Hey, welcome back to CG Bros. A lot of people have asked me how to use paint effects. They're curious how they're used. They're curious how artists might be using them in production. And I thought I'd put this quick little tutorial together to kind of show you one use for these paint effects. It's if you ask me, a very underappreciated and underutilized tool in the Maya toolset. It's based on procedural animation, and it's got a lot of controllable attributes that really give you a lot of flexibility and control when doing effects and animation, and offers you another avenue to go down rather than some of the more traditional methods you might be used to using. Okay, so the way I'm going to do this is to create some NURBS curves, lay them down here, and have them climb up our Venus de Milo here. I picked up this model at 3dmodelsfree.com. And we're going to use her as a base for laying down our NURBS curves, and then we're going to use those NURBS curves as pathways for our vine animation. Let's go ahead and lay down a few NURBS curves. Let's go up here to Create, CV Curve Tool, and lay down some CVs. I want the vine to kind of feed right up here, up to the base. Go ahead and enter to create our first curve. Let's select our Venus and come up to the Make Live button. Click that, and we can see that it's made live by the dark green wireframe on the model. Basically what this does is it allows us to draw and lay down our vertices along the surface. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of start where I left off with our first curve, and I'm going to resume it and kind of model it up Venus's body here. Maybe over onto the jug here. Maybe up the jug and around the front and maybe through her arm. Up the back side here over her shoulder. And kind of maybe up her neck and right up her cheek here. And we'll go ahead and terminate this at the top of her head. You want to lay down quite a few vertices, as this is kind of a detailed mesh, but it's not going to matter so much in the end, as once we get the vines on there, you're not going to really see their intersection along the mesh. So here we have our first two curves, and you can kind of see that. What I'm kind of thinking here is that vines will grow up this way, and maybe some will split off. I'll model some additional curves that kind of break off of this curve here. Maybe about there, and kind of bring this one up this way, and we'll kind of bring this up past her breast here, and then maybe just up this other side of her head here. I'm going to have these kind of terminate up here on the back of her head so that we really don't see at the very end of the vines when we're done. So here's basically what we have. We've got our three curves going here. What I want to do here is minimize the number of curves that we actually have. So I'm going to go ahead and combine the first two curves that we made here and combine them together. So I'll go ahead and select those two curves. Go up to Edit Curves, Attach Curves, and make sure the blend option is selected here, which it is. Let's go ahead and attach those. Alright, so basically that creates the one continuous curve from the two curves that we had initially made there. Now you can really go crazy modeling some of your vine pathways, but I'm going to go ahead and let you guys take care of that. I've gone ahead and modeled a few ahead of time here that I'll go ahead and reveal. I'll turn off the live surface. And so this is kind of what we've got to work with. So the first thing we want to do is get a paint effects stroke. So let's go up here to the rendering menu. Let's go up here to paint effects, get brush. Now this opens up the visor. And under the paint effects visor, there's all sorts of cool paint effects brushes here that are located underneath these various folders here. But we'll go ahead and follow through with some of those on our future lesson. But let's go here to Plant Mesh. What I'm looking for is this ivy mel here. So let's go ahead and grab that ivy brush and drag out a stroke into our viewport and let's take a closer look. Go ahead and turn shading on. Well, the first thing I notice is it's a little too large, so I'm going to go to the global scale, and I'm going to reduce that here from 0.5 to 0.3. Also, the stem length here is a little longer than I'm looking for, so I'm going to go ahead and adjust that, and that's located here under the Tubes tab, under Length Min and Max. I'm going to reduce the length min to 0 and the length max to 1, because I still like to keep a little bit of that stem growth in there. So let's go ahead and take a quick render of that and see what it looks like. Yeah, that's about what we want. Beautiful. Okay, so let's go ahead and put this paint effect stroke onto one of our curves, and we'll go ahead and use the first curve to do that. Then we'll go ahead and transfer the setup that we do on this first one to the remaining curves that we've got here. So let's go ahead and select our paint effects stroke, come up to the paint effects menu, get settings from selected stroke. Let's go ahead and select the first path that we've laid out here. Come back up to the Paint Effects menu and come down to the Curve Utilities tab and attach brush to curves. Bam, pretty cool. That's pretty straightforward. So let's go ahead and animate this along the curve. Let's go ahead and select our Paint Effects stroke. Under the shape node here, there's a tab called End Bounds with two attributes, min and max clip. If we slide those around, you can kind of see what's happening here with the vine on the pathway. It actually clips the path. And we're going to go ahead and animate both of these. One actually slides the vine across the path, whereas one actually just extrudes it along the path. And we're going to use a combination of both of those, but we'll go ahead and set the max clip here first. So let's go ahead and set a keyframe at the max clip value here. Let's go ahead and move our frame range down to 1. Set a key. Move it to frame 60. Let's go ahead and slide that slider all the way to 1. That way it'll clip the curve that we've made from 0 to 1 between the two keyframes. So let's go ahead and rewind this and take a quick play blast. Okay, there it goes. You know, it looks like it's going to be a little too fast for my purposes. Yeah, because I think I set it at frame 60 as the second keyframe. Let's go ahead and stop it here and take a quick look. Yeah, that's definitely too rapid. I was hoping for more of a creepiness to go on. So I'm going to go ahead and adjust that here real quick. I'm going to go here to my max keyframe range and then change it from 60 to 180. I'm going to go ahead and extend my frame range here from 150 to 180 as well. Let's go ahead and take a quick play blast and see what that looks like. Okay, here's what that looks like. Oh yeah, that's a lot more natural. That's about the speed that I was looking for. That's about the feeling I was